Right. Good morning, guys. Nice for you all to join us here for this assault weapon ban topic. So let's start off. We've reached a tipping point in this debate over gun control in America. 12 died in the shooting in Aurora, Colorado. 13 at Fort Hood in Texas. 6 in Tucson, Arizona. 7 in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. 180 million emergency department visits for assault weapons alone in 2011. Of those, 11,500 civilians would die from firearms homicides. Given recent tragedy upon tragedy, perhaps it's finally appropriate to discuss gun control policy in America, in particular, assault weapons in society. Okay, first I'll start off with the Second Amendment that apparently the assault weapons is against, which it totally is not. So the Second Amendment of the Constitution stipulates a well-regulated militia being necessary to secure the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So pretty much that means you have the right to bear an arm to protect your state. Because when this was first written, it was state militias that were protecting the U.S. It wasn't a standalone large army like we have now. So times have changed drastically since then. So, I mean, guns were not deemed illegal by any means, but we're trying to move towards assault rifles being legal. So, let's start with, first, there was no assault weapon definition before '94 because it had just started breaking out into a whole nother category. Assault weapons didn't become its own category until new features started showing up. Pistol grip palm, semi-automatic fire, collapsible stock. And these may not sound, that scary by words and terms, but they definitely are much more lethal and deadly than a normal handgun or rifle. Pistol grip palm alone can make it so you can fire from your hip much easier than actually having to raise up a rifle. So removable stock, extendable stock, makes it much easier to conceal, which a rifle cannot do. A rifle does not have a removable stock like that. So it makes it more concealable. And we don't even need to talk about how much faster that it can shoot and how much larger of a capacity it has. They can have up to 100-round barrel. So the assault weapon category was added to ensure safety and also differentiate between those and normal rifles. It was a needed term. So, all right. So, and about semi-automatic, my opponent said semi-automatic is, pull a finger, it's not that deadly. Well, semi-automatic can be easily tampered with by removing one feature in the semi-automatic trigger, or just filtering it so it's stuck. So, easily changeable. You can buy the parts right off online, get them emailed to your house, or mailed to your house. And then you bought a normal rifle, and now it's an automatic rifle. So let's see. Of the 157 guns banned that she named it's 157. The gun bans were named because they were trying to get banned. Well, then the gun companies started making them under new names. And that's one of the flaws that the '94 ban had, was that they chose names and not actual features. They didn't say this feature, and this feature is illegal, like a pistol grip palm or this, or semi-automatic. They said the AR-15, the semi-automatic rifle. So one of the new provisions to the ban that could have helped it was actually naming these features. Okay, so let's list some of these shootings. So the horrific movie theater shooting in Colorado that my opponent talked about, he did shoot people with a semi-automatic rifle. It jammed, but he killed 12 people before it jammed. And that was a 100-round magazine. Could you imagine if it didn't jam? And you're going to tell me that is not as deadly as a handgun? Yes, he took the handgun out later as a second precaution. Maybe he took it for suicide. Who knows? But, that's what he used after. Could you imagine if he would have let 100 of those bullets go into that? He didn't get through half of his magazine before it jammed. All right, so just Mayors Against Illegal Guns, that's a website. You can look straight on there. It's obviously a group of mayors across several states conducted a comprehensive analysis of every mass shooting between January 2009 and January 2013 that was identifiable through FBI data or media reports. So these weren't on some hoo-hoo website or Wikipedia. You know, these were substantial reports. And of these 43 mass shootings, nearly 1 per month that occurred in 25 states in the 4-year period. That's ridiculous. 1 per month, a mass shooting. A mass shooting is defined as 4 people dying, not including the gunman. That's how FBI defines that. So, all right, and then if some people like to bring up that handguns are used more commonly in shootings than assault rifles. Well, they also don't like to bring up that assault rifles are used in mass shootings much more than handguns. They are the leading use of weapon choice in mass shootings. Okay, so during the '94 ban, over the 10-year period, there was an overall reduction of 66% in assault weapons being linked to crimes overall. So it started out a little slow, but about midway through, it started picking up, and then it started declining. And then just before it was lifted, it stayed about the same, but recently it has started climbing again. So other states have noticed there's plenty of people out there, like Governor Mitt Romney signed a permanent state ban on assault weapons and said they have no place in Massachusetts. These guns are not made for recreation or self-defense. They are instruments of destruction and sole purpose of hunting down and killing people. In addition to restricting assault weapons for the state, after the ban was put, Massachusetts firearms now kill 3 out of every 100,000 people a year, compared to the national average out of 10 out of 100,000 people a year. So, I think the best move for assault weapons is to recreate the ban of the '94 with new restrictions, no grandfathering weapons in, which was the leading cause and failure of that, because once weapons stopped being sold, there was already 4 million already produced that could have been transferred or traded because they were grandfathered in. So a buyback program would be the best way to go about that. And then also listing features and not names, and staying on the gun companies about it. So, thank you.